is everybody doing today? So as you can see, I have a new mat to begin with. I have a new mat. I made this last weekend, had great fun making it, and I'm going to be doing, when I do the live Friday, this is what I'm going to be showing how to make it. It's really easy to make, and you could do this hand sewing, not necessarily, doesn't have to necessarily be on the machine, but yeah, it's really simple to do. But I will leave you guessing until Friday, but I promise I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you. So yeah, I was really busy Saturday and I created this. I was really inspired. And then let me show you the reversible. So the other side is this, so it depends what side I want. The camera's not quite right, I do apologise. Depends on what side I want. And then I've also got the edging, which are these like little triangles. So I'm going to flip it back over to that side. So I just wanted to quickly share that with you. But like I say, we'll be back on date did I say? Friday. I'll be back on Friday. And if you're wondering why there's a black tape on my finger, it's because I've been crafting tonight and I've sliced my finger open with the rotary cutter. So yeah, to stop it bleeding, because I still wanted to craft, I wrapped some black electrical tape on my finger. So I will see what it's doing a bit later on. Anyway, wanted to come back and share with you a project. So as you all know, I've got the swap group on our group, Country Creational Swaps. I will leave the description in the description bar below, so please go and check that out. But while if you haven't already, not a member, or you don't know what the group's about, basically even though it's a swap group, there's so much more that goes on than swaps. We have our monthly swaps every month. Every month you get to pick 3 themes. There's 3 themes that come out of the hat, and there's also 3 colour schemes. So you decide what theme you'd like out of those 3 and what colour scheme you'd like. Now you can do like mix and match, so you could do like 2 themes and then 2 colour schemes, totally up to you. But this time it was loaded hoop, shoe, envelope. It had to be a loaded something, so it was up to you what you decided to make loaded wise. The other thing was Breatrix Potter, Peter Rabbit. Anything to do with Peter Rabbit and his friends, you could make anything you wanted. And then the other one was a craft apron. You could decide to make a full apron, a waist apron, again, as long as you were in the colour schemes, which I'll tell you what the colour schemes were. You could decide what ones you wanted. So the colour schemes were all shades of pinks, so you get all your shades of pinks. There was Lilly Colours, so pastel colours. So there was lilac, there was lemon in there. What I call lemon is like a yellow. So real shades of pastels. And then there was another colour scheme called Earth and Sea, so your browns and your blues. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you what I've made. But before I show you, I have made this card to go with my project. Now the lady that I'm giving this all to, it's her birthday on the 24th of February, and her name is Carol. So Carol, if you're watching, happy birthday, my sweetheart. So I decided, definitely wanted to make her a birthday card. So I've decided to incorporate the birthday card and then put a little message in to say what I chose as my swap. So this is my birthday card I've chose to make. Now you'll notice all this is crackled. I used crackle glaze for this, and I put it on quite thick because I really wanted it that you couldn't see any of that writing. But it does, you can see it when it's in front of you, and it says only small things with great love, and that's what it says. But to feel it, I love anything textured, so that was just perfect. And then I went around like this paper set. All these papers are from the Stamperia set. Now I mixed both the 2 pads. I mixed the fairy one. Wait a minute, I'll tell you what that is. So I used Wonderland book. I used this quite a lot throughout my projects because it had the unicorns, it had the butterfly, it had the fairies, so that was that one. And then the other paper pad I used, if I can find it at all. I can't find it. Oh, am I going past it? I can't find the other one. Why can't I find it? Why can't I find it? I can't find the other one. But when I can't find it at the moment, but what I will do is I'll put that in the description bar below. So the first pad is definitely a Wonderland, but I can't remember what the other one's called. Then I use some of the seam binding I bought from the lovely lady from eBay. I used some vintage applique just tucked under my paper here and there. I used my tattered lace dye to give me the ivy looks, and then this fairy Chris had actually bought me for Christmas, and it's her. She's beautiful to cut out. Well, of course, when you cut it out she faces the other way, so what I did was I cut two out to give it like a two-dimensional look, which was like, if you notice, there's two sets of wings, and the only reason for that is like I say, I cut the two out and then I sort of matched them up where the curve is, and then I moved it so they was two-dimensional. And then yeah, I just played about with different layers. The inks around the edges, I used a blue ink, distress ink, Weatherwood I think it's called. I used obviously vintage, this might have been walnut stain I think, and I used something else which I can't remember, but to give me the colour on the edges. So that's my card. I can't wait to show you my project, so I'm gonna keep that aside. Let me just, I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so this is my project. Now this project, I picked loaded hoop. Always wanted to do one, always wanted to do one, but never ever had the opportunity, or the theme has never come up to do a loaded hoop. And my inspiration for doing this was Shilpa. Shilpa did a, and she is called Craft Angel online. She did a video where she was doing a giveaway some time back, and she showed a loaded hoop, and she'd put all sewing themes inside it. So of course I couldn't go sewing, or you know, I had to stick with a fairy themed, so I stuck with fairy themed and all over woodland friends. So this is my loaded hoop. This is what I've created, so I'm going to talk you through, you know, it all. So it is a 12-inch hoop. It actually looks big. I'm going to move the card because I'll probably need to move the card to be able to show you. It's a 12-inch hoop. I purchased this hoop from Amazon, and it came, and yeah, I just went from there. So the first thing I did, if I turn her over, is I tea stained some fabric, and this fabric was just cotton, it was nothing special, and I tea stained it because I wanted to go with the earth and sea colours, the browns and the blues, and then I also wanted to mix that in with the shades of pink. So what I've done here, done it all in browns to give me the base. This was an actual doily that I'd recently purchased. I was going to cut around the edges, and then I thought, do you know what, no, because when it hangs up, if Carol decides to hang it up, I do apologise, the lace around the edge is going to give a brilliant effect. So I'm going to talk you through. I'm going to start from, there's two pockets. I'm going to start from the bottom pocket and we'll work our way up. So the bottom pocket, the first thing you'll notice is this paper clip. So there's paper clip, this little fairy and all the papers. Now they came from a magazine. They were, you know how you get like freebies in a magazine? That's where I got the images from. No, I tell a lie, it was from that fairy paper set I picked up in the range. remember I did a vlog, and if you haven't seen it, I did a vlog and I showed you the paper pack that I picked up. This is where that came from, that very paper pack. And then what I did then is a gigantic clip. I covered it completely in all dangles and seam binding, and I really went crazy on how many I put. I did use a touch of green because green was in the colour set, I believe so. And then the base, this has come off a vintage bracelet, and then all this is just fabrics, lades of fabric. And the other thing I really added was this. Now this actually smells a pomegranate, I think it smells of. So Carol, if you're watching, you can untie this and then you can just use it as is. But I thought, because they were so tiny, they looked like little fairy stones to me. So I added that, so that I thought that was a lovely little touch. So that was my first project in my loaded hoop. Right, so my second one is this one. Now this one is, when I was making this, I was making it, and I originally wanted a drawstring bag, and for whatever reason it turned into this. And Angie was actually, because me and Angie often talk every night, and she was with me that very night that I was making and creating this. And she just sat there looking at me, and I went, what are you looking at? She went, I love your drawstring bag. Because it didn't turn into what I wanted to, but I wouldn't change it for nothing, because I absolutely love it. And definitely want to be creating more of these. So I used this fabric. Now this fabric is this fabric. And it's got like hedgehogs and birds on and snails on. So I thought woodland, fairy creatures and all that. So what I've done is I actually created a buttonhole. I know I couldn't manage it last week, but I did do it on this one. So I know I can do them, but for whatever reason I couldn't do one on live, but I did manage to do one. And then it opens up, and I've put a button using my machine. I've done some embroidery stitches down the edges in green, and I kept changing the colours because I didn't want the same colour throughout this little project. I also put a handle on there so she could use it as a, Carol could easily use it as a purse because there's a clasp on there. And then inside here are 5 very small tiny little doilies. There's one there, there's that one, there's that one, there's, and they get smaller, that one, and then that tiny minute little one. So that's in that pocket. And then in the back pocket, if I pull this out, it's just a little slide-in pocket. And again, I just edged that with my pinking shears because I just wanted a bit of an edge on that. And then at the bottom, before I forget, there's her name, and I don't know whether you guys can see it. I wanted to go using my words on my machine. So I should have done it in darker colour, and if I ever do lettering again, I know to do it in darker colour, because the cotton I was using had different shades of pink in, which is why I picked it up, because different shades was one of our colour sets. But anyway, Carol, sweetheart, if you haven't seen it, your name is on the bottom. So that is this pocket, and then these are just like the little fabrics I've put in. I've put in the fabric that I used. If Carol wanted to make one, and I actually cut it to length as well, to the length that I've done this. I put in some blue vintage fabric, and I've also put in some of this. Now this was netting, but what I loved most about it was it had small little dragonflies on there, so I thought that suited the theme right down to what it should be. So there's that. So those are those 3, and I won't put them back, and I'll do that a bit later. So in this one, I can't take them out because I've stapled them, but I'll talk you through it. It's a wooden spool. I've decorated it with that paper pack I bought from the range, and then I actually made my own ribbon using fairy fabric, and I've done a video on how I've created it. It's a couple of videos back, but I have done a video on how I make my own ribbon. So I created my own ribbon using fairy fabric, and then I made a little charm, and the exact same charm I used to make something else this month. And this little charm always finds its way with every little thing I make to anyone, because they're cute little charms, and they remind me of the Forever Friends bears. So that's what they remind me of. And I've put a little paper flower on the end, and there's some seed and bind in the other end. And instead of going doily and paper or whatever, I wanted the top to be a bit different. So I've just used some of the ribbon that's got the pearl all the way around it, and I've just taped it with my stapler. So there's just 2 little staple clips in there. So there's that one. Then the other one is, oh, it must be at the top. So I'll show you with the other one, because I have made, and the second one is at the top. So this little tag, I did a video on our group, but I need to do one on Facebook, because I know some of you guys are not in the group, and some of you guys just watch me on YouTube. So I've started creating these beautiful little tags, and they're made up of different layers of paper and fabric. And again, I've used those 2 pads, and I can't remember what the other pad is called. It's Wonderland and something else. I will put it in the description bar for you all. So that says For You, and then I crackle glazed all the butterfly. I've put some pink tulle and some cream, muslin in, and then the back was remained plain, because I thought Carol may want to stick it to a project, which is hence why I didn't write on the back. So yeah, and that just fitted perfectly to what I wanted it to say. So that was that. Let me see if there's nothing else in that bottom pocket. So let me show you the bottom pocket. So the bottom pocket is laid up of different trims, dangle trims. It's also laid up with this gorgeous pink fabric. I've just been using what I had in my stash. This was from Shilpa. The dangles, they're lovely Miss Angie Paisley, because I haven't got many dangle trims, and as I was creating it, I wanted a bit of dangle on the edge. And Angie said, I tell you what, why didn't I send you some of the dangles I got? So she did. So I used 2, and then what I did, I sprayed them with my cosmetic shimmers, and I also sprayed them with my water sprays. So it was Vintage Rose Cosmetic Shimmer, and then I went baby pink and pink with the water sprays. So that's how I created that. And then this image, as you all know, I've been destashing, and my room looks a heck of a lot better. I need to do a video to update you all, but I came across this image, and I'd obviously printed it on to like a cotton muslin type of fabric, and it was like an A4 sheet of paper, and I came across it, and I just looked at it, and I thought, yeah, she just suits to what I want it to be on the front, because I couldn't find anything I wanted to put on the front, but she just sits there perfectly. So yeah, if actually Mrs. G, Rian asked me, is there anything I came across while I was doing my destash that surprised me, and Rian, to answer your question, it has to be the fairy, because I completely forgot I had printed her out. So that is the bottom pocket. Now let me show you the top. So the top bit I have made, and I will take these little staples out because I need to show you this one. So we'll staple it back up. So this little pocket is, it's quite a fairly big pocket, but what was I going to say? And it goes quite deep, which is hence why I made the little one underneath, because I wanted to be able, because as I was creating one pocket, it didn't actually sit, because that's all that is, it's just a piece of lace. So let me show you what this one is. So this one, I started creating this before I created the hoop, while I was waiting for the hoop and the postage, and it's a little mini fairy journal. And I used some of the paper I had in my stash. I covered it with like some fabrics, and then been making my own ephemera, so she just sat there, made her up, and she's up in the group as well. And then as I open it, Carol can actually write in this, but it's a little mini one. It says crafting, and then I've made little tags, and this one actually comes out like so. All these papers are tea stained, and then if I flick it over to this side, this pops out because I wanted like little treasures, because I thought fairies were so cute that they needed their little treasures. That's made out of 2 papers. And then if I keep going, there's a little pocket there. I made these there on the group, the little mini fairy envelopes. And I keep going. I didn't do it to every single page. There is a little pocket there, but yeah, you need. And there's a pocket there as well, but you can write on any of this, Carol, my sweetheart. And I've made little tags. Used some of the papers Dee Dee gave me to create some of this journal. And then if I keep going, so that's the back. So it's like a little mini journal. I didn't go crazy, and like I say, used some of what was in that Wonderland theme. I'm just going to pop this back in, and then I can staple it back up later. So yeah, so that's that one. Then on this one I've made another spool, exactly using the exact same fabric, but with this time I've been buying, I need to share it with you what I've been buying, but I've been buying some sari silk scrap fabrics, absolutely stunning. And one of the packs I bought was pinks, and this is what it turned out. It's absolutely stunning. You see, that's absolutely gorgeous. And then I put some pink tulle on and stapled it. She can take the staples off, and it's not going to wreck the bag if she wants to use it. It's not going to wreck the paper. It won't wreck the fabric, because you've just seen me take the ribbon off that one. So it won't do any harm. So from now on, I think I'm going to use the staples on the top, because it's a lot easier to take off. Because I'm always finding that I always do, if I do double-sided tape, I always do the opening at the top, and then when I obviously give it to somebody, they always struggle. So this, I made a started to make a boho bead. I haven't got a charm on the end, and the reason for I haven't done it is because not only did I want to create something, I wanted Carol to add her own stamp to it. So I put this in. This boho bead is made out of a straw. Now, I've never made a boho bead this big before, or I've never made any out of straw, to be exact. I've made some of my fabric beading, but not a boho bead like this. And I used tiny little pink seed beads all the way around. There's some pink seam binding, some glass and some resin beads. And like I say, this is completely made out of a straw. And there's a bit of chain on the end where Carol can add her charms. So that was another thing I created. Then I made one of these, exactly the same as the little one. Build it up through your papers. And I forgot to share with everybody, before my birthday, Chris had bought me the Tim Holtz ephemera pack. And in that pack is these little, there's a word for them, but I can't think what they are. There is an actual word for them, but I can't think what they are. And then this was also in the pack, and the butterfly, because I thought that suited it. And then just in the little places, I've done some crackle glazing. And I also did on this as well some stenciling. So as you can see, there's some stencils here, there's some stencils there, some crackle glazing here. I just did it every now and then, but I did the stenciling before I laid it up to make it look, to give it that finished look. And then I created seam binding and some pink and white muslin. And again on the back it's plain, so Carol can stick it down to her project, or she can use it on a card or whatever she wants to do with it. So there's that one. As you can see, there's lots of goodies that have been in here. I bought these ages ago and I've never used them, and I came across them and there was something like the fairy, and I thought, you know, that's fairy themed, it needs to go in. So basically they have 3 fairy plaques, and they've got like a double-sided foam tape on the back. So Carol, you can use them in your project, sweetheart. Then I put in one of my doilies that I found recently. I'll quickly open it up. I've tied it with some sari ribbon. So this is what that looks like. And I just thought it suited, and it's just plain on the other side. So that's what this one looks like. And then, like I say, she's got the ribbon, sari ribbon I bought from Etsy to play with too. So there's that. And then finally but not least, I will talk you through this in a second, but as you can see, the pocket goes deeper than this. So that is some Italian lace that I bought from a craft fair that in Malvern, and I had great fun using it on this project. I've only got a little bit left now, so I'm sort of holding that. And this ribbon round here is what Chris purchased me for Christmas, and it was in one of those packs, which was absolutely gorgeous. And then I just laid it up, and then this flower actually comes off, because like I say, I wanted Carol to be able to use it. Because the other thing was for a twist as well, because I had the twist, and my twist was to make two different flowers. So I've made one on here that there's two pins, there's one at the bottom and one at the top, and all Carol needs to do is unpin it, and she's got a flower there. And my other flower was here. So I made this little drawstring bag. This one did turn into a drawstring bag. Before I put it together though, I beaded some beads around it and some sequins. This is all done by hand. And I also put some, what they call that? Pink tulle, dark pink tulle on that. And instead of turning the other way out, I did some really small top stitching all the way around in like a dark pink. So it suited it. But all the beads you see there are all what I've sewn on. And this fabric I purchased ages ago, and I just haven't used it on nothing. I just thought, come on Kat, use your fabric, start getting it out, that's what it's there for. So my second flowers, since one's just popped out, because my twist was to make two different flowers. So this was one different flower, and these are my other ones. So there's one there, there's one there, and these are all the same, which is why I did, like I say, one on the project. And because you can decide whether you wanted it on the project with that twist, or you can decide you could put them both on. And then obviously that goes quite deep. So that's that. And then that's my two different projects. So that's my twist. So like I say, Carol is in for a complete, I don't think she's expecting even this much. I had great fun. Absolutely great fun creating this. This was one of those things where I just sat and I created, and I loved like going back and forth, and I just loved creating it. Thank you so much, Carol, sweetheart. I loved creating this project. It has to be one of my favourite things to do, is a loaded hoop, and I will definitely be doing another one. Because I loved, like I say, going back and forth and adding things to it, and then coming away from it and then going back to it. So I loved that. So yeah, let me know what you thought of everything you've seen, and what was your favourite bit that I've made, or what you think that I could have added, or yeah, let me know what you think, because like I say, I loved it. So Carol, sweetheart, if you were watching, you now know what you can take off, what you can use, what everything was made from, how it was made, and yeah, I will love and leave you all to my next video. Take care, have a lovely rest of the week, and until then, until my next video or my next live, I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now, ladies.